Well, now, Bud, we have the American Music Show presidential debate, and it's like the other debates. We made up our own rules, so it's not anything really like a debate at all. And in fact, we don't have the real people. We just have representatives from each of the candidates. And they're all just they're gonna make some statements. And so for their opening statements, I'd first like to introduce Mr. Seymour Worm, who's representing the Bush candidate. I mean, President Bush.
I just want to say that there's one thing that we American people need and want in a president in the United States, and that's the ability to kill. And George Bush has proved he has got the ability to kill in cold blood, and he does not hesitate to use it. He doesn't kill them people in Panama, arrested Noriega. He killed 5,000 of them there. He killed over 250,000 of them over there in Iraq when they was trying to steal the Queen of England's oil. He killed them all in cold blood. He has killed well over 300,000 people since he's been in there, and the great majority of them have not been white people. They have been non-white people. Now, what about Clinton? Does he have the ability to kill? Well, he has killed 2 people since he's been running for president. One of them was retarded, and one of them was white. And when he had a chance to kill people back in the Vietnam War, he was over in London, England, cavorting with the communists, traveling to meet the KGB in Moscow, Russia, in order to bring socialized medicine to the United States. And the ultra-liberal spenders and wasters, and I mean the people that are friends of Timmy Silver and Tom Houck and friends of Miss Duncanette, James Bond, that's Art Harris, the famous reporter, is interviewed that woman, Jennifer Flowers, in the Penthouse magazine. Everybody's got to go out and get them a copy of that. They said right there, he quoted her as saying, Bill Clinton ate pussy like a champ. And they said also here, Bill Clinton had a small Peter and his wife had bad ankles. And if you could see through her black stockings, you could see she had she's got bad ankles, and he ain't gonna prove that he has got a small Peter. But I'll tell you this, he ain't releasing his medical records on account of cause it says that he had VD of the mouth during the time that he was married to Hillary Clinton, and we all know that you has got to take a blood test before you get married to prove you ain't got VD. He had an illicit affair. And I'll tell you one more thing. When he is president of the United States, the first thing he is going to do is he is going to pardon Willie Horton, and he is going to give it up the butt to every woman in the United States, including you, Mrs. Simon, and you, Ms. Duncan, and every child like Duffy Odom.
I think your time is up, Mr. Worm.
Ought to be ashamed of himself for putting his wife
we now have Senator Paul Simon and his lovely wife Jean are now representing Governor Clinton.
Well, you know, thank you so much, Potsy. Gene and I are so happy to be here in Atlanta. Before I say anything else, I must say it's great to be back down here with you in the South, back in the liberal tradition of the true South, you know, as it should be and can be again. Not the South of this Mr. Worm over here. You know, he just riled me up as soon as he made his opening statement, you know. Gene, I tell you one thing, if they're going to talk about all the ones that George Bush has killed, and Mr. Worm, I'll give you, he's killed all those that you've told about and more and more. And I want to count all the black men that have been killed in prison while George Bush was in there. There's more black men in prison now than there are in college. Prison population tripled under George Bush, but even don't forget to go back way on back into George Bush history. The first ones that he killed, and what was that? Well, Bud, I guess that was his mates there on his Air Force, his own Navy captain.
Jumped out of the airplane there, didn't he?
He was on where he bailed out as soon as he saw a
Jumped
smoke.
out.
You know, they say it was just an ashtray or something. He just bailed out and killed all those men right there in the plane. So don't forget about those good American flyboys that he killed by his own cowardice. Now he's asking to be reelected, and I say no. And I'll tell you one thing, I agree with him. I think George Bush has a great spokesman for himself in Seymour Worm over here. What do you say, honey?
Oh, exactly. Don't you know? It just seems like he's exactly what I despise in George Bush.
He looks like a Nazi. I'm not sure.
That's right.
Well, thank you, Senator Simon, and we'll now go on to our Perot representative, and we couldn't get anybody to come from the Perot campaign to speak for Mr. Perot, so we have Duffy Odom playing the part of Perot instead. But I think he'll do real well.
Now, people, what we have here, now I don't want to use the White House as a Billy Pitbull, and I don't want to use your money. Now, talk about killing people. Now, listen, somebody's killing the American spirit. And it ain't you, and it ain't you, and it ain't you, and it ain't me. But I know it's somebody, and he's probably sitting right over there, but I don't know who it is. Now, listen, let me just show you an audio visual. Let's see, this here is the presidency, and over there is your country. This was sent to me by a volunteer from the fine people in Oklahoma. Fine lady, sent it to me, volunteer. Now, she's not getting money, but she's dying because the American spirit's dying. Now, let's see, this is the president, and over here is your country. And it goes like that. Just like that. Now, I ain't gonna use the president. Now, I don't want to sound about you. Don't be afraid. I ain't gonna sound about you. But I'm telling you, if this keeps on like this, after a amount of time, then the whole thing just goes on along like that. And I know it's my time's up. I know.
Your time is up.
But you know what I'm saying?
Duffy
Watch
Perot.
me tomorrow night on ABC.
That made a lot of sense.
And then Tuesday night on CBS, and Sunday night on NBC, and
you on Larry King? You gonna be on Larry King?
All right.
Okay, thank you. And so now that we've had all those statements from our representatives, we'll now have our closing statements. And I guess if you want to start.
I guess you first, Mr. Worm.
Mr. Worm.
Well, I just want to say this. When that man over there was growing up in Texarkana, Texas or Arkansas or wherever it was, his name was Perot. They called it the Perot family there. That's what his daddy called it. And when he went off to Annapolis before he chickened out of the Navy, he changed it to Perot because he thought it sounded better. He don't even know how to pronounce his family's name. He ain't going to know how to be president. And I want to say this man right over here, he paraded up there and discredited the best Supreme Court justice we ever had because Anita Hill is his damn mistress. He was in there eating her out when they came up with that lie to discredit Judge Clarence Thomas.
I think
ain't no way to this man that's been unfaithful to this dear woman and wants to have Billy Horton put it up her butt and doesn't care a less.
All right. You're scaring the dogs. Gene, Paul, do you have anything to say?
Do you have a statement?
You know, when they called me down and told me to bring my lovely wife Jean down here on the show, you know, as vile and despicable as George Bush is, as sick and depraved as the last 12 years of the national government have been, I never believed they'd send somebody down here like this Seymour Worm. I guess I should have known better. I guess I should have thought they'd just put some kind of Nazi crazy man out here. You know, that would be their answer, Gene.
Oh.
That would be their answer to the debate. I am just appalled, but you know, we're going to get rid of people like this. If you want more of this, if you like this and you want some more, then send George Bush, just like he says, Americans for Bush, send him back in there. But by golly, if you're tired of this and you want to bring the people together instead of pulling them apart, you want to cut taxes on the middle class, raise taxes on those wealthy people, and get America back to work again, get some programs going to help us. You know, we used to have programs. Some of you are so young, you don't know the government can do a damn thing. You would take up taxes. That's all you've seen them do, take up taxes and kill people. They used to have programs to help people like you down here in Atlanta, down here in America's Olympic City. So vote for Bill Clinton, vote for your whole Democratic slate. We're going to bring the government back to the people, and we're going to get rid of these people like Seymour Worm over here that have been running us into the ground now these 12 long years. We've had enough. Gene, what about it?
Love everybody, don't you know? That's what it's all about.
Well, I guess, are we going to have a
Do we have a Perot rebuttal?
Closing
Or
statement?
closing statement?
I am sick and damn tired of that stupid
What about, wait a minute, hold it. Are you all right? Are you all right, Duffy?
Duffy!
Where?
Oh no, what did you do? You're crazy!
And that's one more reason for you all people to vote for Bush, because Perot ain't in the race no more.